The first step is going to be getting to know your book. You'll need to get the paper that says Getting to Know Your Book with questions. Find where it is in the room, grab yourself one copy and a pencil. You'll also, of course, need your book in order to get to know your book. As I'm going through and showing you the different parts of the book, please pause and find those parts on your book, and then answer the questions on the Getting to Know Your Book paper. As you can see, we're going to talk about the title, we're going to talk about the table of contents, the index, and the glossary. Start by looking at the front and back cover of your book. The front cover, of course, will have the first part, the title. Find and write the title of your book. You can also look at the pictures or any other information on the front cover of your book to help your brain get ready to really carefully read your book. The back cover of your book might have some helpful information, or it might not. My back cover only just tells about other books that I could read, so it's not really helpful information for me about squirrels. After looking at the cover, open your book and look for the table of contents. Yours just might say contents, it might say table of contents, but what you'll see is a list of the different chapters in the book and what pages they start on. Read your table of contents titles so you know what's going to be covered in your book, what information you'll get. When you're done reading your table of contents, then you can look at the glossary and the index parts of the book. The glossary and the index are usually the last page or one of the last pages in the book. Pause and see if you can find the index in your book. The index lists a bunch of different types of topics that are in the book and tells you which pages to go to find information on them. So one of the things we're going to want to take notes on is this animal's diet. So I would look at the food section and see if I find good information on any of these pages. Now see if you can find the glossary. The glossary might be called glossary, like mine is, or it might be called something like words to know, or important words. The glossary is usually the page before or the same page as the index. So again, look in the back of the book to see if you can find it. The glossary is just like a dictionary. It has all different tricky words from the book in alphabetical order, how to pronounce them, and what they mean. You can start off by reading the words and the definitions in the glossary so you kind of know some important words that are related to your animal. You can also just use the glossary when you need it. This is a little picture from one of the pages in my book, and in this picture you can see that there's some words that are bolded or a little bit darker than the other words. When you see a word like that, it usually means that the definition is someplace on the page or at the back of the book in the glossary. Here you see that the word cache, C-A-C-H-E, is bolded, and in the back of my book, it's right there in the glossary. It means to store or hide something for later use. Now that you've taken a little tour of my book and your own book, make sure to fill out any questions on this sheet that you haven't filled out yet. If your book is one of the few books that doesn't have a table of contents, index, or glossary, turn your paper on the back and write a little note about that. When you're all done filling out your paper, make sure your name is on it and put it into the finish bin. Then you can move your clip on the writing chart and watch the video to find out how to do the next step.